Yeah, good team win. Tough to win on the road. Glad came down here and competed. Wasn't perfect, but competed and got a win.
You got a bunch of guys back on defense tonight. How much of a difference did you feel like that made?
Helped a ton. Noble Thomas and Coop coming back, and we had to rotate a little bit, but that was huge. I mean, I give credit to Coop because he did not practice much at all week. We weren't even certain he was going to be able to go. Felt like Friday had a good chance, but again, Friday's a limited kind of practice, so those guys were huge.
78 yards through 3 quarters. What did you think of the first 3 quarters of your defense?
Oh yeah, really good. I mean, because we gave them 5 points offensively. Really, we turned the ball over in the red zone and held them to a field goal, and they bang it through. And then obviously when we got the penalty on the extra point, the shotgun snaps over the QBs. So they played awesome. Obviously, we want to finish a little bit better in the fourth quarter, but they played dominant defense for 3.
How significant was that touchdown before the half?
That was huge in a lot of ways. I mean, separating it, getting 2 scores like that. DJ makes a great throw. The punt return from Ant, holding them to that type of field position, forcing them to punt, and then the return, that was huge.
What were you thinking there with 57 seconds? You got 2 timeouts and they're at the 4. Are you thinking what you're talking about halftime at that point? Because
Not yet.
pretty much can run out the half.
Well, you're thinking, how are they going to play this out, right? Are they going to run this clock, or are they going to be aggressive with it? They were aggressive. They dropped the ball on 2nd down. They probably should have kept the clock going. It didn't. So then 3rd down, run it. We're going to call timeout, and we got a good opportunity.
There's been a couple times this season the offense has kind of been a little bit more stagnant, and Aiden Childs has come in and kind of given you guys that spark. How has he honestly grown right before your eyes this season?
He did. I mean, he came in. We put the ball on the ground 2nd series, so that series was really pretty short. But he did. He came in, scrambled a little bit. I don't think he had a completion on his drive, but that QB draw from 20 yards out was explosive.
Has there been any discussion at all about playing him another series?
We talked a little bit about it, but again, where DJ's at and how hard he's worked and what he's been able to do, I think DJ could have got more help. Again, he had twice we fumbled the ball and some drives, and so it was good. Look, we like where Aiden's headed, we really do, but we're really confident with DJ.
The physicality you guys show, how is that helping you at this point in the season? You can just smash it like that.
Yeah, it helps us, especially in the run game and finishing games, that type of thing. We want to be physical on both sides. I thought our secondary challenged and was physical. I was pleased with the D-line getting around the quarterback. This guy's a good player, and so physical teams win the game most of the time.
Were you surprised they did an onside kick at the end?
You never know. They had 3 timeouts, so you kick it deep, field position wise, and then you're counting on a stop.
Was there more of an intention tonight to run the ball and maybe try to keep them on the sideline a little bit?
Yeah, we wanted to sustain some drives, keep that offense on the side. I do think the run game was some good. They had some different scheme that took us a while to sort out. They were getting in the backfield a couple of times. But we always want to be able to run the ball, make it physical, and then when you're playing an offense like this, it's better when they're on the sideline.
First half, DJ was sacked 3 times, obviously a little bit uncharacteristic by the offensive line. How much do you guys feel like you missed Jake Leppingood, and how did you guys adjust in the second half?
Yeah, Jake's a really good player, and we'd love him to be out there. I do think Tanner steps in and plays solid at center. I don't think that was a huge factor on the sacks. I give Colorado some credit. Again, they tweaked a couple of schemes. We got to hold the ball a couple of times where we got to block it a little bit better.
Coach, the game plan would be to stop Shador, but there's one thing to say it and another thing to do it. What did you do that you became so successful without sacks?
Right. I thought we tackled well to try to get him off the field. We did flush him off of his timing a decent amount where he had to try to extend the play and all of that. Again, we did that for 3 quarters. You're not going to hold this guy down, and I think he almost had 200 yards passing in the 14.
You talked about it for 3 quarters. You couldn't be more proud of your defense, but in that 4th quarter, it's the 2nd week in a row, 14 points in that 4th quarter. What are you seeing that's just?
I felt a little bit, we talked about some of these DBs that got back, and they were limited through practice. I think, they were getting gassed a little bit, and they got some playmakers. I mean, again, Hunter makes a huge play down the field. We got to get around the quarterback more. He had too much time.
What did you think of that no-call pass interference, kind of that led to their 2nd touchdown?
Yeah, those things, I mean, especially on defense, very rarely do you get those calls. I thought Jaden Robinson was in good position on an earlier pass interference that didn't go our way.
Do these wins after losses like last week, do they feel a little more significant just because you don't want to go into a slide at this point in the season?
Yeah.
Or do they, I don't know, or
It's
is it just
big.
another win?
It's big. Any of these wins are big, especially get toward late in the year, November. These games count in a huge way. Coming off a tough loss and then going back on the road against a good team and getting a win, it's huge.
How huge, again, I'm gonna kind of reiterate, how huge was this to get this win, knowing that you're heading back home for the next 2 weeks, Stanford and number 5
Yeah,
Washington?
big games. The more games you win, the bigger the games get as you go along, and we kept that going with this win tonight.
How unusual was it for you to see your opponent for the week changing their offensive calls and stuff late before the game? Does it
Right.
change how you plan because you watched something different?
You know, we found out kind of late, so not a ton. I mean, at that point, and again, they've had a season, and so you're following the tape, and so that wasn't a major factor on what we decided to do defensively.
Can you walk us through the decision when you get the half the distance to goal after the PAT?
Yeah, that's a little bit, yeah, there's analytics chart, and they're talking about it and where the score was, if you take one, if there's defensive penalty. And again, I feel really confident on the 1.5 yard line to double our points, and I think we walk in the end zone if the snap's executed.
We're good. Let's go.